Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something I think everyone in the nonprofit world feels deep in their bones come January.
Oh, yeah.
That post-holiday fundraising slump.
Some people even call it the post-holiday fundraising depression, which, sounds dramatic, but it really captures that feeling.
It really does.
It's just come off this incredible high, end-of-year appeals, last-minute gifts, and then silence.
And that contrast is so draining.
Yeah.
It's really tempting to just treat January as, I don't know, a recovery month.
Right, but the sources we looked at are pretty forceful on this. They argued that's a huge mistake. January isn't for recovery.
It's an opportunity.
It's maybe the most critical opportunity to lock in the momentum from December and really set the tone for the entire year ahead.
So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack 8 really practical strategies from our research to fight that lull and keep the energy high.
Let's do it.
And just before we jump in, for anyone looking to go even deeper on this stuff, you can always find more at fundraisingcourses.com.
All right, so section 1. This is all about closing the books and starting to build on those relationships. We're talking tips 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so let's start with tip 1, ending December strong. The sources say the key to a good January is actually a fast December closeout.
Yes, and speed is the strategic word here. We're not talking about just getting it done eventually.
Right.
The goal should be, what, a 72-hour turnaround, getting those final numbers locked in?
72 hours. That means reconciling everything, online gifts, the checks that came in on the 31st, all of it.
Every single cent. And you're probably thinking, why the rush? That just sounds like stress for the finance team.
I was, yeah. Why is that administrative speed so strategic?
Because it prevents long-term donor frustration. If your numbers are off, or if you're slow, that means your thank yous are delayed.
As your tax receipts.
And your tax receipts. You get a donor waiting 6 weeks for a receipt, or worse, they get one with an error. Well, that's a negative experience to start the year.
Got it. So getting the details right and getting them right fast, it gives you the runway for the next step.
Exactly. It lets you move immediately into relationship building.
Which brings us to tip 2. Say thank you, early and often. This feels non-negotiable.
It is, but here's the insight that really separates the good from the great.
Okay.
Don't just acknowledge the transaction. The sources were unanimous on this. You have to take the time to highlight the tangible impact of that donation.
So not just a receipt that says, thanks for your $100.
No, it's thanks for your $100, which just bought the textbooks for a student in our scholarship program.
You're closing the loop.
You are closing the loop. You're showing them exactly how their dollars are already at work in January. The sources also suggest, using multiple channels for this.
Like social media.
Social media, a local press release maybe. You want to showcase that collective impact publicly. It makes donors feel like part of a winning team.
Okay, that makes sense. Which leads right into tip 3, I think. Send a tax year summation letter.
Yeah, this is such a great service for your repeat donors, the ones who gave multiple times.
It just makes their life easier come tax time.
It does. You're a partner, not just a recipient. It needs to have a clear list, dates, amounts, all of it, and a genuine thank you for their loyalty.
And here's the really interesting strategic piece from the sources.
The pledge envelope.
The pledge envelope. So while the main point is appreciation, you subtly include a way for them to recommit for the new year.
It's so smart. It's not a hard ask. It's a quiet reminder. You're giving your most loyal supporters an easy way to pledge their support for the new year before you even start your big spring appeal.
You capture that commitment while they're already thinking about their giving from the past year.
It's perfect timing.
All right, so that covers the look back, the administrative closeout, the immediate thank yous. Now we have to pivot.
Right. From looking backward at December to looking forward, this moves us into section 2.
Because if you just stop after cleaning up the books, you've already lost January.
You've lost it, which is why tip 4 is to review your fundraising plan for the next 6 months.
You have to fight that temptation to just coast.
You have to. And this can't be just a quick glance at a document. You need to really dig in.
What does that deep dive look like? What should teams be analyzing right now?
You're looking at your December metrics. Which channel did best? Did direct mail beat email this year? What happened to the average gift size?
And you use that data to adjust your Q1 targets.
Immediately, you ask the hard questions. Are we actually ready for the next mailing? Is the spring gala on track? Are my major donor follow-ups scheduled in the calendar?
That kind of audit really re-energizes the team.
It fights off that procrastination. It brings back that sense of velocity you need for the first quarter.
And that velocity is key. Which brings us to tip 5, which addresses something that often kills that velocity.
Fear.
The fear of bothering your supporters right after they just gave.
Mm-hmm. Tip 5 is refine your communication strategy. And the sources challenge the conventional wisdom here.
Okay, because the wisdom is lay low in January. Don't send too many emails. You'll get unsubscribes.
Right, but the sources say don't be afraid to communicate. In fact, you should probably communicate more.
More. Now, hold on. That sounds risky. How do you avoid donor fatigue?
Well, here's the critical difference. You're not sending more asks. You're sending more updates. High-frequency, value-based communication.
So you're communicating impact, not need.
Exactly. Your job in January and February is to constantly show them what their December gift made possible. Newsletters, social media, quick video updates.
So you're building the relationship.
You're reinforcing it. You're keeping your nonprofit top of mind. So when the next ask does come, the foundation is solid. Think of it less like planting new seeds and more like shoring up the foundations.
I like that framework. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift to section 3. This is about reconnecting with the people and the purpose.
My favorite part. This starts with tip 6. Collect stories for future campaigns.
Stories are everything in this work.
They're the most powerful tool you have. And January, when things are a little quieter, is the perfect time to go out and gather fresh ones.
Before you're under the gun for the next appeal.
Right. And you need a plan for this. It's not just waiting for them to fall in your lap.
So you're actively reaching out to program participants, to clients, to volunteers, actively reaching out, doing interviews, sending structured surveys. And you want a variety of stories.
A variety? What do you mean?
You want stories of success? Sure. But also stories of ongoing struggle to show the need is still there. Stories about future goals. This lets you tailor your message to different donors later on.
So the donor who funds a building project gets a story about impact and scale.
And a small monthly donor might get a really personal, emotional story about one individual. It's about having that library of authentic stories ready to go.
That's a huge asset. This connects nicely to tip 7, which is about another group of people.
The volunteers.
Be engaged volunteers. Because a lot of them are just burnt out after the holidays. They really are. Or they just feel disconnected. The holiday rush is over, and now what?
So what's the move?
The sources call it a volunteer reboot. You have to be proactive. This means personalized contact. A phone call, a coffee meeting, a thoughtful email.
This isn't just a mass thanks for your help email.
No. The goal is to re-inspire them, remind them why the mission matters, and connect them to new opportunities for the year. Your volunteers are your base. If you lose them in January, your events and programs for the whole first quarter are at risk.
It's a direct investment in your operational strength.
Absolutely.
Okay, finally, tip 8. This one is very specific, very calendar-driven. Prepare for Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service.
Yeah, the third Monday in January. It's this perfect, nationally recognized opportunity that's all about community and action.
So you should plan some kind of service event around it.
Something that honors Dr. King's legacy. But the sources use this great term for it.
A gateway event. I love that. What does that mean exactly?
A gateway event has a really low barrier to entry. It's not asking for a 6-month commitment. It's, say, a 2-hour project.
Like packing care kits or a small community cleanup.
Exactly. Something finite but meaningful. It's a fantastic way to recruit new volunteers who are curious about your work but not ready to dive in head first.
And the key, then, is to track who comes.
Yes. You track them, and you have a plan to convert those one-day participants into regular volunteers over the next few months. It's a warm pipeline.
8 tips. Incredibly practical. It takes us all the way from reconciling spreadsheets to inspiring new volunteers.
And it all adds up. The main takeaway is that January doesn't have to be a slump. It doesn't have to be stagnation.
Right.
If you use these strategies, you get this powerful trifecta. You reset your admin, you refocus your strategy, and you re-engage your people, your donors, and your volunteers.
You're not just surviving the post-holiday lull, you're accelerating out of it.
Precisely. You're building on that December momentum.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to chew on. We've talked about momentum being the currency of January. So consider this. What if you did all 8 of these things? What if you really nailed the storytelling and the strategic review? The sources suggest that a really aggressive January strategy could increase your major gift pipeline for the first quarter by a minimum of 15%.
A 15% jump just from being strategic in 1 month.
Just from refusing to treat January as a recovery month, it could really redefine your whole year.
It really could.
And remember, if you're looking to build out these strategies and learn even more, you can find a ton of information at fundraisingcourses.com. Thanks for diving deep with us today.